Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm talking just briefly in my studio here, but most of the video is going to be from when I was in Shenzhen. So we're going to be talking about the X2 Mini as well as the X2 Mini Pro. Now the X2 Mini Pro is basically a baby of the Onexplayer 3 and the Apex. And why I'm saying that is it's essentially the same as the Onexplayer 3, but you do get the removable battery, which we're going to get into in a bit, but you also have an AMD APU. This one has the AMD AI Max Plus 388, which is basically the same as the 395 as far as the iGPU goes, although it does have less cores. So you may get some other efficiencies. I know a number of users that have an Apex do turn off cores to get a little bit better performance or a little bit more efficiency. So I can't speak to that because I haven't personally tested it, but that's what I'm hearing. If you're interested in checking it out, right now you can go to their Indiegogo page and they have probably the lowest price you're going to see for quite some time. So if you're interested, I think it's live for maybe like 1 or 2 more days. So now is the time to check it out if that is something you're interested in. I'll leave a link in the description. After that, it should be available on their official Onexplayer store. I can update the link to that once we get to that time. But anyway, I just wanted to give a quick preface that if you're looking for it, now is the time to check it out before I jump into this video. Okay, let's take a look at this. Hey everyone, it's Trevor, the okayest gamer here, and this is another video from the Onexplayer event. So I'm in Shenzhen, China, checking out some new devices. We've checked out some good food, some of the local scenery, and the Onexplayer headquarters, all of which you'll be able to see in some other videos. But the focus of today's video is another new device that comes with an Intel variant, which we're going to cover today, as well as an AMD one, and that's the X2 Mini. So the X2 Mini looks a lot like an Apex. You have the removable battery, something that I'm really happy to see in these handhelds. So they did carry it over to the X2 Mini. The X1 Mini we had a couple years ago that came with the AMD HX370, and it was a nice device. It had the smaller controllers that we found on the X1 and the X2 now, the larger handheld, but they also have now included these larger controls, which you can find on the Onexplayer 3. So a lot of these devices, if you take a look at them side by side, look quite similar, but there are some differences. There's two I'll show you really quickly that both have the battery pack. You may be, thinking that they're the same device, but this is actually another device that we're going to cover in a different video called the Apex Air. The difference between these two really comes down to two things, and that is that we have a removable set of controls on the X2 Mini, but on the Apex Air the controls are fixed, and it's also an 8-inch screen, so a couple minor differences. But back to the X2 Mini. So this device, I have to say, is pretty neat. Having the removable controls does make it where you have a little bit more flexibility. For me, I tend to play my games docked. I'll dock to the TV, hook up to one of my eGPUs, and that's actually probably my primary way of playing when I'm at home. The nice thing is if you want to play docked, you can do that, but you can also put the device down with the controls off as just a tablet on the table. And with that, you could take the controls. There's a controller bridge that you can get that adds on some features like wireless play. The one thing is you'll need a USB-A dongle that comes included that you're going to plug into your device to connect. These also don't have batteries in the controls themselves, so they do require this bridge. But this bridge does have a touchpad on here. I haven't been able to test it, but knowing that we have a touchpad on the control it's a big bonus. So you can set up your device on the table, play like this, and this is incredibly light and feels much like a standard controller. The other thing with the X2 Mini is you can attach this little keyboard. This one is from the Onexplayer 3, and I'm not sure if it's slightly different. It wasn't attaching to this one, but they do have a little keyboard that you can get so you can use it as a tiny laptop. Now, really, this device, if you're looking at it compared to the Onexplayer 3, there's not a lot of differences. It's really coming down to that removable battery. And for me, I really like that feature because if you're on a flight, let's say, you could just bring a second battery and carry on gaming, where with the Onexplayer 3, you are limited to whatever is in the device itself. So as far as the difference between the two, that's the biggest one that I see, although I am sure there are others that we'll discover as we get into this device a bit more. Now, I'm just going to give you a short overview of some of the I/O and the specs. I haven't had a chance to do the performance testing. That's something that I hope to do in the near future once I get my hand on one of these devices with the G3 Extreme. So at the top, let's go through the I/O. We have our power button with a fingerprint reader, I believe. We have our volume rocker. We have a USB-A port, USB-C. On the side, we have our controller rails. This uses the X1 or X2 or Onexplayer 3 controls. You can swap it around. At the bottom, we have our micro SD card reader, USB-C, as well as a BiWin SSD. We also have down-facing speakers here. So on tabletop, that'll be nice. When you're playing handheld, just keep in mind it's shooting downward, not directly at you like some other devices. The device itself is pretty comfortable. It's a little bit heavier than the Onexplayer 3. I don't have the exact weight specs, and I also don't have a scale right now to test it, but it does feel similar in weight to the Apex, but you do get a larger screen, and the screen is OLED. So this display here is a 1200p 16:10 aspect ratio display. It's OLED, which is a nice upgrade from what we have in the Apex. So yeah, this, I would say, if you were looking at the Apex, but you wanted a keyboard, a mouse, and you want removable controllers, this is gonna be that option for you with a little bit of a bigger display, a little bit extra weight compared to the Apex Air, which we'll cover in another video. But overall, it's a pretty cool device to check out. The controls, I've talked about these in other videos, but I will really quickly go over them. The joysticks are upgraded to the capacitive joysticks, which are great. They feel good, they're not too loose, and they do have a nice smooth feel. The D-pad is micro switch, and they have changed the style to be a little bit different. It sticks out of the device, similar somewhat to the original X1 controllers, but it does seem like they've upgraded a bit. The face buttons are also transparent, kind of a smoky transparent. They look really sleek. I really like them. You have your home button, your One X console button, and then you have another, what I pressed here opened up Steam. So you have another button to open up your game library, whatever you have it programmed to. At the top, we got our start and select, keyboard button on the right above the One X console. And at the back, we have two programmable buttons. Most importantly, to remove the controls, you just press the button at the back, lift up, and they come off super easy. Put them on the bridge, and then you can play tabletop. Anyway, today's video was just gonna be a quick overview. Once I have one of these devices in hand, I'll do some more testing and get into it a little bit deeper. But for now, that's what we have. I do think this is a pretty promising device as far as the type it is. I think it's going to fill in a gap for people that had the Apex, but kind of wish they had a little bit of a larger screen with OLED. They are also going to be releasing, I believe, an AMD version. So for those that are looking for those chipsets, check those out. The G3 Extreme is supposed to be very efficient. It's not going to be quite as powerful as the AMD AI Max Plus 395, but it's somewhere between that and the Z2 Extreme. So I think you're going to get a nice middle ground here. It's also supposed to be very efficient. I'll have to verify that once I have a chance to test it, but it does seem to be one of the most efficient chipsets you can get at low TDP. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I'm hoping to get my hands on these devices soon and I can get a little bit more information on how they perform and actually do some testing. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.